Now, schools across Scotland have been closed for the last 2 days in the pay dispute between teaching unions and the Scottish Government and councils. Ministers have long insisted that the 10% pay rise demanded for teachers is just unaffordable, but negotiations are ongoing and the mood music tonight seems a bit more positive. Well, we spoke with the teacher and EIS member, Nusnat Athmani, and the Scottish education correspondent for The Times, Mark McLaughlin. Mark, so there's been talks today between the unions and the government, and there are more talks tomorrow. What's the latest on the negotiations as far as you know?
So Shirley-Ann Somerville, the Education Secretary, released a statement a short time ago saying that there had been progress made in the talks. The EIS came back and said they're still waiting for a fair deal. Now, a fair deal in their eyes is a 10% pay rise for this year alone. We've been here before. Shirley-Ann Somerville has been saying that talks have been positive and there's been progress all throughout this process, been saying that for months. So just because she's saying it's positive, it doesn't necessarily make it so.
OK, well, we'll have to wait and see because there are more talks tomorrow. But Nusnat, for a long time, teachers have been asking for a 10% increase. I know you're not a spokesman for the EIS and you haven't been in within the negotiations, but would teachers be prepared to compromise on that?
I think both sides have been trying to present obviously a fair offer. We feel that it's not really a pay rise that we're looking for anyway. What we're looking for is some restoration of the pay that has eroded over the last few years. So that's gone down by 24% since 2008. So really 10% is still a lot less than that. So obviously I can't confirm a particular figure that we would be happy to accept, but it will need to be as near to that as possible.
Because the Scottish Government has moved quite a lot from their initial positions, but there's been no compromise on the teaching unions' behalf, has there?
I don't really think that the Scottish Government has moved a lot. They started off, I believe, with a 2% offer at the start of last year, and that eventually went to 5% in August. So it moved up to that point, and all the way since that point, it only went up to 6% in the last couple of weeks. And when it comes to compromising, actually, pretty much since 2008, we've compromised continuously, where we've taken pay offers for most of those years that have been under inflation. So the compromise has been continuous for many years from our side, and really we want to see a fairer settlement this time.
Mark, the Scottish Government made a revised offer last month. Can you just remind us of what that was?
So the revised offer was for 6% going back to last April and 5.5% from this coming April, this coming financial year. That would be an 11.5% pay rise from last April. Now, the Times has fact-checked this claim by the unions that their pay is devalued by 24% since 2008. We spoke to the Fraser of Allender Institute, the Institute for Fiscal Studies, and also looked at data from the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development, and that showed that teacher pay at February last year was about the same in real terms as it was. So this claim by the unions that their pay is eroded over the last decade and a bit doesn't seem to stack up according to the economists that we are speaking to.
It doesn't stack up.
I don't think it's really acceptable to suggest that if our pay is still as it was in 2008, in 2023, we should accept that. The facts do speak for themselves when you look at the rate of inflation.
Are the figures right, though?
I haven't seen the figures that Mark is talking about. The figures I have seen is the fact that since 2008, our pay has actually gone up 45%. And the government will, push this, that the teachers' pay has gone up, but it's not the full story. And the full story is inflation has gone up 69%, and that's where the difference is.
OK, the offer that Mark outlined there, the union leadership rejected that. Do you think all members think that? Or why did the EIS union not put that out to consultative ballot to find out what teachers think?
The EIS had asked for a significantly improved offer, and 6% wasn't enough. At that point, there was no discussion for the next year. So the 5.5 that they've added on is a bit of a red herring to make the offer look better than it actually was.
But you think the teachers were with that as well?
Yeah, I think a lot of us. I as an EIS member was very happy that we didn't waste time consulting, because the extra 1% that they offered us, I've already paid for that through my strike pay, so it absolutely wasn't enough.
Mark, the SSTA, another teaching union, has taken a rather different approach, haven't they?
So the SST isn't formally in the negotiations, but when that offer was put on the table and then swiftly taken off the table by the EIS, who are in the negotiations, the SSTA just did a consultative ballot to say, would you have accepted this deal if it had been put to you? And a small minority of their members actually said yes. Now, the EIS did not put this deal to their members, so we'll never know what their members would have thought of that deal, and that deal has actually expired now. So we're told that there's going to be some more talks tomorrow. Maybe another offer will be forthcoming by the end of the week. So maybe it's something that the EIS can put to their members.
Nasa, you've been on the picket line today, and you were yesterday, and you were also on the picket line last week, taking part in targeted strike action in Nicola Sturgeon's constituency. Are you concerned it's disproportionately affecting your students, because Glasgow Southside is an underprivileged area?
Yeah, now I understand the concerns that have been raised around the fact that some children are out of school more than others, but this is an unfortunate step that we've had to take in order to escalate the strike action, because the government's delay is continuing to cause us to be in a situation where we're not getting to a resolution. And as a mother, first, before anything else, obviously I don't want to see further disruption, whether it's to all children or to a smaller set of children. We want all children to be back in the classroom learning and making progress and being successful. But unfortunately, we cannot do that. We have to accept the reality is that we need a better funded education system, which starts with the people, so its children, young people can benefit.
Okay, just in a sentence, do you feel you've still got the backing of the public?
Yeah, absolutely. The strength is absolutely out there. We've had huge support in all different areas, whether it's parents, whether it's other public sector workers. Everyone is united because everyone is suffering in this cost of living crisis. Everyone understands.
Mark, very briefly from you, is that your view that the public are still behind the teachers?
Absolutely. When you look at the polls, you'll see very strong support. I know that the National Parent Forum of Scotland did a poll recently, and I've yet to see the results of that poll. But I think that the general view of the public is that teachers deserve absolutely everything that they've got coming to them, and more. But the problem for the government is it affordable?
Okay, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you both very much indeed for joining us. Its debut today on the free streaming service STV Player. Dirty Water follows the antics of the hapless staff of a low-rent Glasgow cleaning company. The three-part comedy series began life as a theatre production back in